My name is Gene Braxton. Sobriety date is June 20th, 2019. My life is, I guess, not the typical life of what most people would see as a drug addict. You know, I grew up in a two-parent household, played soccer my whole entire life, and that was definitely what I loved to do. Played at a high level at a pretty young age. Actually led me to get drafted to play professional soccer when I was in high school, and I always joke because coming from Cincinnati, Ohio, I was actually the first person to get drafted to play professional sports out of high school, and then came this dude named LeBron James, but yeah, nobody's ever heard of him. I decided to go to college instead of play professional straight out of high school, and went to school in Northwest Ohio at Bowling Green State University. That's where the partying and using without consequence started. At that time, I didn't understand the progressiveness of drug addiction or alcoholism, you know, both of which I had. I just thought I was doing what normal college kids did. Fast forward 4 years later, I'm drafted out of college to play professional soccer. And this is where the consequences started to show up in my life. I was drafted to play for a team in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. And I was actually traded because of my drug use. It really started to take a toll on my playing. So I was traded from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to New Jersey. Started playing in New Jersey, drank too much in New Jersey, was traded to Cleveland. I was able to, you know, pursue soccer as a profession for the next 4 years, and man, I was just bouncing around the country, never really got my footing. Always looked at different reasons as to why I was getting traded, and found myself in my mid-30s with absolutely nothing. And here's where that progression, you know, and consequence really started to catch up with me, because you know, you try to keep a guy like me, an addict, away from his medicine, from his relief. I quickly found out that I am willing to do pretty much whatever it takes to make sure that I can keep that going. 39 years old, this all catches up to me, and I found myself in prison. I was forced to take a hard look at the reality that you know, the common denominator was the drug use, right? Was the alcoholism. I was introduced to 12-step recovery, you know, while I was in prison, and the whole reason that I went to the first meeting that I went to was they had real coffee and donuts. I go in there, and the gentleman that started to speak actually told my story. Had played professional baseball, found himself in trouble with the law, you know, pretty much ruined every single thing that in his life, same as me. And that really piqued my interest. Next thing I know, you know, 10 and a half months later, you know, I'm getting released from prison. There had been 2 weeks that I had missed meetings. And that was actually the first 2 weeks that I was in prison, but for 10 and a half months consistently, I decided to show up. So yeah, when I got released, I had that traction, right? I had you know, 10 and a half months of sobriety, you know, but I also had some tools, and thankfully I was able to get out of prison and hook up with some guys who took, you know, recovery very serious. It's been a fast 2 years later, and my life has completely changed. You know, I no longer wake up with that low-level anxiety. I wake up actually looking for opportunity in the day. I continue my recovery. It's what is put first in my life. You know, attending meetings weekly. I work in recovery now, which if you would have asked me, you know, 5 short years ago, if that was ever on my radar, you know, I probably would have told you where to go. Life does look completely different now. And if you're watching this video, if you're new to recovery, or if you're thinking about, you know, is recovery possible for you? Or if you are anything like me and you're thinking that, living a life of sobriety is uneventful, boring, kind of square, I can tell you from my experience that couldn't be further from the truth. My life is completely full now. That is the most beautiful gift that I've gotten from recovery, waking up every day and actually and authentically having a day filled with opportunity. I'm very, very blessed to have walked this path, to continue to walk this path, and to be around people that walk the same path as I do.